Hey guys, it's about beer 30. Let's go see what's in the fridge today. Hey everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews. Today, look at this great big 750 milliliter corked and caged bottle. This is Hardywood Craft Brewery. They're up in Virginia. This is their bourbon barrel aged Columbia Supremo. It's got Trader Joe's written on it. Bourbon barrel aged Columbia Supremo Coffee Stout. Guys, I did not buy this beer. When I contacted Hardywood about getting that bad beer that we did, their Kentucky morning, they sent me a replacement beer, and they also sent me this one to go with it. So thanks to Zach at Hardywood for taking care of me and giving me a replacement beer, which was very, very delicious, unlike the first one. And hopefully this one's going to be very, very tasty too. The beer is down to here, so it's not usual 1-inch head space. It's a little less than that on this. This is an 11.5%er. Yep, 11.5%er, 55 IBUs listed here. The only fuss that I have about Hardywood is they're not dating their stuff. So, I mean, in this style of beer, it's not that critical, but I would like to see a vintage or something on the label or stamped on the bottle, and they're not doing that. So I don't understand that. Maybe they think in this style it's not that important, which is technically probably true, because this beer being 11.5% and being a coffee stout, it will keep for a while. But being done with coffee, you want to drink that pretty fresh. You wouldn't want to sell this beer for 10, 15, 20 years because the coffee's going to fade. So that is the only fuss I have about Hardywood and their big beers, especially their stouts. Putting a vintage on it somewhere, either on the bottle or on the label. I don't know. Beer Advocate doesn't have this one listed, just like yesterday. It's no wonder that site's dying. I mean, I went to all the beers for that brewery, and this beer was not even listed. So I don't know if it was. I don't know. So they're out of this one. Into the showers you go again, boys. Y'all might be drowning in there. It's 2 days in a row y'all up in the showers. I just don't know about that site. I don't know if being under the same umbrella with Untapped and them, they're going to survive or not. They have a whole lot of problems over there, guys. They do. Over to Untapped, again, they have the right ABV and they have the right IBUs. And their commercial description says, after aging our Imperial Stout for months in Kentucky bourbon barrels, we cold press this beer through freshly cracked Trader Joe's Colombian Supremo coffee beans. Delightful caramel and cocoa notes of the Supremo Arabica coffee grown in the Papayan region of Colombia harmonize perfectly with the beer's rich chocolate and roasty character and vanilla imparted during the oak barrel maturation. So, other than not having a date or a vintage on it, everything else is there. The ABV and the IBUs. So I wish they would do something to take care of that. That is the only fuss. So, big bottle, corked and caged. Hopefully this is going to be a tasty beer. Like I said, once again, thanks to Zach at Hardywood for taking care of me and giving me a replacement beer for the Kentucky version that was bad, and sending me this as I guess, for my troubles. Listen for the pop. Here it comes. Oh yes, very nice. Very, very nice. Guys, we're going to pour this right straight down the center, being an 11.5%. Looks like it's very decently carbonated. Very colorful label with a parrot on there. 2 fingers of head, a nice brown khaki colored head, a very dark beer. Very nice looking stout. Very, very nice looking stout. To the nose we go. Oh yes, very pleasant aroma, nice roasted malt, hints of coffee, maybe a little bit of caramel toffee, some dark fruit, black molasses. Wonderful aroma, and those aromas are just going to intensify as it comes up to room temperature, which we will let it do. We always do, no matter what the style of the beer is usually. Nice creamy head on this thing. Very appealing looking beer. Wonderful aroma, wonderful appearance. That's a good looking beer, don't you think? Well, let's give it a taste. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, everyone at Hardywood. And Zach, thank you, sir. I do appreciate it. Customer service is awesome there. Absolutely delicious. Big time coffee notes, roasted malt, black molasses. Coffee is definitely standing out in front. Very, very done. Not getting a lot of the bourbon barrel. That may come out once it warms up. A lot of times when it comes out of those barrels and they introduce something like coffee to it or whatever, it overpowers that. And if they'd done the coffee before it, the coffee wouldn't have stood out as much. So yeah, you got to weigh. Or you want the coffee prominent, you want the bourbon prominent, you want it to balance out, where do you want it, and that's probably where they wanted it to be. So I'm not going to fault them for that. I would like to see a little more bourbon notes in it, since I haven't seen this beer in the stores, especially the craft beer stores, so I don't know if it was distributed or not, or special release, or you had to get it at the brewery, or something closer to the brewery. I don't know. I don't know what the distribution was or the production was on this beer. I'm just glad that I got my hands on one of them. Now the second taste, I am getting some bourbon. And like I said, when it's cold out of the fridge like that, a lot of times you don't get those initial flavors and tastes. This style of beer is meant to be drank between 55 and 70 degrees. And it's colder than that right now. So we need to let it warm up, and then we'll find out once it comes up to room temperature what we have here. So a lot of people, they won't refrigerate this, or they'll take it out of the fridge an hour before they drink it or review it or whatever, to let it come back up to room temperature. I like to start off with it chilled like this, and then let it warm up. So when we come back to a final chug, it's 70 degrees or more, depending on the temperature, whether I'm drinking it outside in the summertime or here in the house in the wintertime. But I am getting some of those now. On the second taste, I got some of that. So let's sip on this, and we'll come back and give it a grade. It seems like a very impressive beer right now. Alright guys, I'm back myself not about an hour or so, up to room temperature now. Very tasty, very appealing, very enjoyable beer. Alcohol is well hidden for 11.5%. I am getting the bourbon notes now that it's warmed up to room temperature. This is a very enjoyable beer, guys. I mean, I'm getting the roasted malt, the coffee is outstanding on this one. If you like a coffee stout, this is a good one. Getting the barrel notes on it now. Very pleasant beer to drink. Very well made beer. Very enjoyable beer. Looking at the bottle, I don't see any kind of dating stamped on it anywhere. That is the only fuss I have for those guys at Hardywood, that they're not putting a vintage or a date on their beers. I don't need a day on it. I'd like to see a month and a year to let me know whether it was done in January, July, or December of that year. But they're not doing anything like that. That is my biggest fuss I have about these guys, not putting some kind of vintage on it, or month and a year to let me know when in the year that it was done. So I do appreciate Zach taking care of me and sending me this one, as with Kentucky that I had was bad. but I'd like to see something a little bit. I want to see a little bit more from the brewery as far as a vintage, and maybe a month and a year, and they're not doing that. So I have no control over it. Just my opinion here, guys. I'd like to see it put on there, especially since this is a coffee beer, to let you know when it was put in the bottle. Month and a year would be great. Date's not critical, but at least the year on that, so you know. I mean, this is a coffee beer, and it was done this year, or last year, or year before, or whatever. Final chug. Very delicious beer. Big time coffee notes on this beer. Of course, it came straight from Zach at the brewery, so I know it's probably pretty fresh. But I want to see that on there. If I see it sitting on a shelf and it doesn't have a vintage on it, I'm going, maybe, maybe not. To me, guys, my honest opinion is a very delicious beer. It is a 10 beer in a 9 bottle. And that's what I'm going to give it, because it doesn't have any kind of dating or vintage or anything on it. 95 for me, guys. It's an A beer. And like I told you earlier, Beer Advocate doesn't even have it listed. Imagine that. No wonder these guys are drowning. Over to Untapped, they have it at 4.14. That's in their A- scale. I think it's a little tastier than that. I could have went either way there, guys. I could have gave it an A-, but it was so tasty to me with the big coffee notes and the ABV and the IBUs on the bottle, but no dating. So that would be the only fuss I have. They need to put some kind of dating or vintage or something on the label or the bottle. So 95 for me, guys. Right down the middle of the A category. I do think it's an A beer. Definitely worth picking up if you can get it in your hands. I don't think Hardywood distributes very far out of the area. We just recently got these beers here in this part of Virginia, and they're only 3 hours away. So with that being said, if you've had the Bourbon Barrel Aged Columbia Supremo from Hardywood Park Craft Brewery, let me know what you think. I did enjoy this. Thanks, Zach. I do appreciate you sending this to me. Customer support at Hardywood is awesome, guy. Hardywood is awesome. It is very nice. They were very concerned about me having a bad bottle and took care of my problem. So this was a freebie to come along with the one that I had that was bad, the Kentucky version. So if you've had this one, let me know. I don't know what the distribution is on this particular one beer here, whether it is available. I did not see it at the craft beer store when I was there. The last 2 times I was there, so I don't know. But I did enjoy this. I wish they would do something about their dating thing. So, with that being said, if you've had it, let me know what you think. Can we meet again? Let's go see what's in the fridge, guys.